everyone, in this video we will cover the current affairs. I am Nuzhat Sana. For mobile optimized ebooks, please install GK Today Academy app. You can attend the quizzes on this app for better practice, and after that you can also read the detailed explanation of the questions you have missed. For regular updates, please check our Telegram channel. The link is given in the description box. You can subscribe to it if you find it relevant. For hard copy books, you can visit our website gktbooks.com. Okay. Also, our latest initiative is UPSC Prelims Test Series for 2021 and 2022 in GK Today Academy app. So if you are appearing in UPSC Prelims, you may consider joining this. So now, without wasting any further time, let's get started. So today we'll be discussing most important MCQs for 7th of August 2021. Starting with very first question, in which state or union territory Maldives style water villas will be set up? So these villas will soon be set up in Lakshadweep. Why? To attract tourists. So recently Administrator of Lakshadweep, who is Mr. Praful Patel, has said that the water villas will be set up at a cost of 800 crore rupees. And these projects are being backed by Niti Aayog and Union Home Ministry to develop these remote islands. And under this project, world-class facility would be set up in Suheli, Minicoy and Kadmat Islands of Lakshadweep. So overall, 370 rooms will be offered across the 3 islands, and these villas would be constructed under public-private partnership model, that is PPP. Now these days, Lakshadweep was also in news because it has been recently declared as first organic union territory of India, which is now completely 100% organic. Fine. And which is the first organic state of India? It is Sikkim. Also, as per recent data provided in Lok Sabha on fish consumption in India, people of Lakshadweep eat nearly 300 grams of fish every day. And now with this, the people of Lakshadweep consumed the highest quantity of fish in the year 2019 to 20. Okay. Already we have discussed that National Dolphin Research Center is proposed to be constructed in Patna to conserve the Gangetic dolphin species in India because they are highly endangered. Also these days, Union Government has proposed to set up NRF, that is National Research Fund, to strengthen the research ecosystem in the country, and proposed outlay of this NRF is 50,000 crore rupees for over a period of 5 years. Then also, Union Government has given its approval recently for the formation of a central university in Union Territory of Ladakh, and the project cost for the formation of this university would be 750 crore rupees. Do remember that Ladakh is the first union territory to achieve 100% coverage of first dose of COVID-19 vaccination. Now can you tell me, in vaccination terms, which is the first state of India to be completely vaccinated? Please write in the comment section. Question number 2. What is the name of India's first indigenous aircraft carrier? So INS Vikrant, which is India's first indigenous aircraft carrier, has recently conducted its maiden sea trials. And the trials will be conducted for a long period under all conditions before the carrier is accepted as proven at sea. And it will be fully operational by the year 2022. Further, Navy will accept this warship and then will conduct the aviation trials as well. And under the aviation trials, landing and takeoff of MiG 29K fighter jets would take place. So this INS Vikrant has been designed by Navy's Directorate of Naval Design at the cost of 23,000 crore rupees. And it has been built at state-owned Cochin Shipyard in Kochi, Kerala. Now apart from it, recently the India-Russia Joint Military Training Exercise named as Indra 2021 commenced at Volgograd on 4th of August 2021 with an opening ceremony that saw the unfurling of the national flags of both the countries. And this exercise will enhance interoperability between the Indian and Russian armies. This place lies in Russia. Also recently, Indian and French navies conducted a naval exercise named as Varuna, where in the Arabian Sea. Then there is INS Tabor, which was in news recently. Why? Because it has participated in joint exercise with two countries. First is Russia and second is Italy. Apart from it, in the month of May, INS Rajput has been decommissioned after providing 41 years of its service to the Indian Navy. And do remember that it was the first destroyer as well as the lead ship of the Rajput class of Indian Navy. And we celebrate our National Maritime Day on 5th of April to support global economy through sea transport. Fine. Question number 3. Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation Amendment Bill 2021. Up to what amount the depositors of a stressed bank put under moratorium will be able to withdraw within 90 days. So recently the Union Cabinet has cleared this amendment bill, and under the new amendments, bank deposits of up to 5 lakh rupees will be covered by the government in case of a bank failure. Do remember that earlier deposits of only 1 lakh rupees were insured, but now this limit has been increased. Apart from it, this bill also mandates that the DICGC, that is the Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation, must return money owed to depositors within the 90 days after the failure of a bank. Why deposit insurance is necessary? Because it actually offers protection to the deposit of bank customers in case a bank becomes insolvent. Okay, so DICGC regularly collects money from banks to fund a corpse that is used later on to compensate depositors if a bank fails. Fine. Now apart from it, recently SBI General Insurance has partnered with Manipal Business Solutions, which is the initiator of Sahi Pay, to expand its penetration of non-life insurance in rural areas of the country. As we know that Sahi Pay provides digital and financial services in semi-urban and rural areas. So SBI General will leverage this customer base to maximize its non-life penetration rate in rural areas by providing a variety of non-life insurance solutions. Okay, so over 65% of the Indian population lives in rural areas, and hence this partnership will let them understand the benefits of the insurance, then affordable and technology based products that this association provides. Fine. Apart from it, recently Indian Bank and IIT Bombay have partnered for extending credit facilities to startups and MSMEs. Then Forbes has released recently the Fortune 500 global list of companies on 2nd of August, and as per this list, Reliance Industries Limited is the highest ranked Indian company in a fiscal year ended on 31st of March 2021. And globally it was on 155th position. Do remember that in the same list, Walmart ranked first in terms of total revenue for their respective fiscal years, and it had a revenue of $524 billion. Question number 4. Which nation India has defeated to clinch the bronze medal in hockey in the Tokyo 2020 Olympics? So the Indian men's hockey team has claimed an Olympic medal after 41 years, beating Germany to claim the bronze in the ongoing Olympic Games on 5th of August 2021. So with this, Indian hockey team made one of the most memorable comebacks in the history of the game, because they fight back from a 2-goal deficit to turn the match into their favor. And do remember that it is India's third hockey bronze medal in the history of the Olympics. The other two came in 1968 in Mexico City, and the second one comes in 1972 in Munich Games. Now apart from it, Indian boxer Lovlina Borgohain won the bronze medal in women's 69 kg category weight at the Tokyo Olympics on 4th of August, and she is just 23 years old, belonging to Assam, but unfortunately she lost the semi-finals to Busenaz Sarmaneli, who belongs to Turkey. Also, do remember that Ravi Dahiya became only the second Indian wrestler to win a silver medal at the Olympic Games after he lost the men's freestyle 57 kg title clash to reigning world champion Zavur Ugev. So there were expectations that Dahiya would become India's youngest Olympic champion, but unfortunately he was defeated by Russian champion. From which state Ravi Dahiya belonged to? He belongs to Haryana. Also, talking about Neeraj Chopra, he is the first Indian javelin thrower to enter the finals of Olympic Games. And he topped the Group A qualification with a big throw of 86.65 meters, and he also belongs to Panipat, Haryana. Question number 5. Samagra Shiksha scheme covers the school education from which class to which class? Why this is the news? Because recently the Union Cabinet on 4th of August has approved the continuation of this scheme for school education for another 5 years. So this covers from preschool to class 12th. And in the revised scheme of Samagra Shiksha, there are various initiatives like provision of training of master trainers for Anganwadi workers. Then there is sanitary pad vending machines in all girls hostels. Also addition of new subjects instead of stream in existing senior secondary schools. Then holistic progress card for each learner, and upgrade of all Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalayas up to class 12. So these are some of the initiatives of revised scheme. Now apart from it, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs is implementing SUSV, that is support to urban street vendors, as a component of Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Urban Livelihood Mission scheme. Okay, and it aims to address the livelihood concerns of the urban street vendors by facilitating access to institutional credit, suitable spaces and social security, etc. Fine. Now recently, which ministry has organized a national webinar on transforming education in the light of Indian knowledge system, language, arts and culture? So this is Ministry of Education. And as part of 1 year celebration of transformative reforms under the government's national education policy, the Government of India is organizing a series of these theme-based webinars on different aspects of national education policy. Question number 6. Which organization has secured patent registration for its innovative plastic mixed handmade paper? So recently KVIC, that is Khadi and Village Industries Commission, has secured patent registration for its innovative plastic mixed handmade paper, which is developed to reduce plastic menace from nature. So the patent certificate was issued to KVIC's KNHPI, that is Kumar Appa National Handmade Paper Institute, which lies in Jaipur. And the idea of developing this plastic mixed handmade paper was invented in September in the year 2018, and in just 2 months, that is in November 2018, the project was executed by the team of scientists at KNHPI. Okay. Now KVIC was also in news because recently KVIC and BSF, that is Border Security Forces, have launched Project Bold in Jaisalmer. Why? So the aim is to develop green cover in the Indian deserts of Rajasthan. Fine. Apart from it, KVIC has secured trademark registration for its brand name Khadi in 3 of the countries, and which are they? Mexico, UAE and Bhutan. Also KVIC is famous for its Project Rehab, that is reducing elephant human attacks using bees. So this project aims to prevent elephant-human conflicts without creating harm to either of them, and for this purpose, bee boxes are used as fence to prevent elephants from entering human habitation. Okay, and these bee boxes are provided as a part of honey mission. Question number 7. Who is the Chief of Staff of US Army who recently visited India? He is General James C. McConville, and recently he was on a 2-day visit to India, and he laid a wreath at the National War Memorial on 4th of August 2021 and received a Guard of Honor at the South Block. Apart from it, he called for Army Chief General M.M. Narvane and discussed issues of mutual interest. Now apart from it, Indian Air Force Chief R.K.S. Bhadauria has recently arrived in the country Israel to discuss enhancement of bilateral exchanges between the air forces of the two countries. So he reached Israel on an invitation from March General Amikam Norkin, who is CDR from Israel Air Force. Do remember that before the trip to Israel, he also visited UAE. Now can you tell me which Indian visual artist and illustrator has recently won the 2021 Eisner Award? So it is Anand Radhakrishnan in the category of Best Painter, or you can say Multimedia Artist. And he shared this award with UK based colorist John Pearson for his novel named as Blue in Green, authored by Ram V. Actually, this award is named as Eisner Award after a graphic novel legend, Will Eisner, and this award is known as the Oscar of the comic field, and it is presented in total of 32 categories. Question number 8. Which state government recently decided that no Gorkha citizen will be prosecuted under the Citizenship Amendment Act 1955? So recently the Cabinet of Assam has decided that no new cases will be registered against the Gorkha community in the state at the foreigners tribunals, and already registered cases will be withdrawn. So recently Assam Chief Minister Hemant Biswa Sarma said that no Gorkha citizen will be prosecuted under the Citizenship Amendment Act 1955, and according to the organization representing Gorkhas, there are about 25 lakh Gorkhas in the Assam. Now talking about Assam, there are now 7 national parks there, because recently 2 of the parks have been identified as national park, and which are they? The 6th national park of Assam is Raimona Reserve Forest, and the 7th one is Dihing Patkai. Which are the other 5 national parks of Assam? They are Kaziranga, Manas, Nameri, Orang and Dibru Sakhova. Okay. Also, Ramgarh Vishdhari has recently become the 4th tiger reserve of Rajasthan, and overall it is the 52nd tiger reserve of India. Do remember that Rajasthan has decided to develop a tiger corridor by connecting 3 of its tiger reserves. First is Ramgarh Vishdhari, second is Ranthambore, and you have to tell me which is the third one. Please write in the comment section if you know. Question number 9. Padma Sachdev, who recently passed away, was author and poet of which language? So she was Dogri author, and recently she died in Mumbai on 4th of August at the age of 81 years. So she authored many books in Dogri as well as in Hindi, and her poetry collections including Meri Kavita Mere Geet won her the Sahitya Akademi Award 2020 in 1971. Also she received the Padma Shri, which is the country's 4th highest civilian award. In 2001 she was awarded the Kabir Samman for poetry by the Madhya Pradesh government. Now apart from it, which schedule of Indian Constitution talks about languages? It's the 8th schedule, and it contains total of 22 languages, in which 14 was there in the original constitution and later on 8 were added through amendment. Which are these 8? Manipuri, Nepali, then Sindhi, Konkani, Bodo, Dogri, Santhali and Maithili. So these are the 8 languages which were added later through amendment. Okay. Now how many schedules are there in the Indian Constitution? So there are total 12 schedules in the Indian Constitution. Which are they? So here is a trick I am telling you. The trick is tiers of old PM. Here 12 letters signifies 12 schedules. Let's quickly talk about them. First is your territories. Second, E stands for emoluments. Third is oath and affirmation. Fourth is Rajya Sabha. Fifth is scheduled tribes. Sixth is other tribal areas. Seventh is F stands for federal structure. Then 8th is obviously official languages. 9th is laws that cannot be challenged by courts. 10th is anti-defection law. 11th is Panchayati Raj. And 12th is municipalities. So these are the 12 schedules of Indian Constitution. Okay, so you can remember it very easily. Now you have to tell me, Panchayat and municipalities have been added under which amendment? Please write in the comment section if you know. Coming to last question, which of the following is the key objective of the Airports Economic Regulatory Authority of India Bill 2021? So with the passage in Rajya Sabha, Airports Economic Regulatory Authority of India Bill 2021 has got approval of both the Houses of Parliament on 4th of August 2021. Earlier on 29th of July, the bill was passed in the Lok Sabha, but the bill paves the way for privatization of a small loss-making airport by clubbing it with a larger airport. Because the amendment bill proposes to modify the definition of a major airport under the AERA Act 2008. So the objective is to pair the smaller non-profitable airports with profitable airports as a combination package to bidders to make it a viable combination for investment under PPP, that is public-private partnership. Now who is our Union Minister of Civil Aviation? It's Jyotiraditya Scindia. Apart from it, recently the Cochin International Airport has won the Airport Council International's honor for airport service quality. And we celebrate International Civil Aviation Day on 7th of December. Now can you tell me which airport has recently been renamed as Sambhaji Maharaj Airport? Please write in the comments if you know. Now let's start with today's quiz. Here on the slide you can see 5 questions which have been taken from the past 2-3 days current affairs. Pause the video and try to solve each of these questions. And at the end of the lecture, do not forget to share your scores in the comment section. So please be honest and do not cheat with yourself. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked the session. These were the important news and events from today, and we will meet again tomorrow with some more important current affairs. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, Meenuz Hatsana signing off.